right. Well, my name's Bryan, and I'm with BiCoastalGaming. Somewhere over there is PayBackBills, aka Josh, and down there is Greg, aka Demintele.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Somewhere over there. You're not wrong, because Discord's got it all going on.
Discord's got it all
right
wrong. So if you watch my version, you're gonna see he's there. But if you watch his,
there, but
then I'm pointing
over there, and then
Greg's easy. He's down there.
Like this.
But Greg's like they're
Those two idiots are up there.
Oh yeah.
Makes my life nice and easy.
Oh my god. This is too comical, man. It's like Discord can't get it right.
No, Discord, they're having a hard time with it.
That's true. We try.
Shit. So, I don't really know
who. Are you
to
gonna moderate this? Is this what's going on?
I don't know who to pick first, but I guess we'll go with the one that's that way.
Hey, I know that Bryan, this was kind of your poll initially of getting us all together to do this podcast thing. And I guess we can start off with you. Like, why do you want to have us come together and talk in podcasts?
I mean, I wanted to make a podcast partly just to get kind of our channels out there and have a little bit of fun with it. But also we can talk about things that, maybe people are asking but don't want to or afraid to ask. So hopefully we can
see our goofy sides where we're not like.
Yeah, and like when we're live on stream, when we're live on stream, it's like, we're hardcore into it, but like stuff like this is just so much more chill.
Well, I mean, I know, like, for me personally, it's like when you're in stream, there's so much going on. You have chat, you have, at least for my aspect of patrolling, you have chat, you have TeamSpeak, you have in-server, you have whatever's going on in the background. I know for Greg, it's your racing, right? I mean, you got to focus on that.
Yeah, Greg's funny because you start messaging him and he's like green flag racing and he's totally focused. He goes yellow. He looks over at chat and typically just starts laughing because of who knows what to.
I can't pay attention to the chat, and that's the one thing, at least for me, that's hard. Is I have to have my crew chief or my spotter look at chat, or a mod.
Yeah,
a mod always has to be looking at chat.
I feel like for me, when I'm in your chat with that as well, is it brings another cool aspect because I hear your crew chief, chiming in, and then because you're so focused and whatever, and like you just start laughing or whatever, and it's funny because it's like you can't read it, but you have your own version in your head of what's going on.
My favorite thing when I chime into to Greg's streams is when the mod or the spotter who's like reading his chat also is like, hey, don't bother looking at chat right now, just wait. Just don't look at chat right now.
Just drive
and make sure you don't wreck.
Yeah. And like for me, I try and multi-stream and I do a whole bunch of games, but for the most part I'm pretty much 5M. That's kind of been what I've gone to. So, I can totally side with you with like, you got TeamSpeak, you got Discord, you got God knows what. And then supervising on top of it just from community ranks and stuff, so that just makes it all the better.
That's newish to me as well, or you and I both in the last couple months. The supervising aspect too, because it changes everything.
It completely changes your patrols.
You're like, cool, and then you listen to RT, you're like, what was that? And you're like, oh crap, here we go.
And when you're live and you're like oh crap, and you're like looking over, you're like, what other supervisors are around? Like, can I get out of this one right now? I really don't want to deal with it with an audience. But the other supervisor is really cool. It's been fun.
I'd say definitely from a streaming standpoint, at least with Midwest, the other supervisors are pretty cool about trying to jump stuff for you. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Even with like a fire related incident, when I'm on this fire, a lot of the LEO guys are pretty good about jumping in for me while I'm live. There's been a couple, incidents or whatever that have happened, and it's nice to at least see that everybody's kind of helping each other out.
Yeah.
And that's like I don't stream it, I don't record it, anything like that. But even when I'm in it, just to kind of relieve stress, as Bryan knows, is everyone's always helping. That's something that even as a community of streamers, I think we can all agree with our communities that even outside of our streams, everyone's helping each other. Everyone's having that aspect of this is what's going on and what we're about or what Midwest is about.
Yeah.
I
I think my favorite thing about streaming and patrolling is when someone says something and all of a sudden your chat lights up. And like, because I mean, people from the community who aren't in server at the time or aren't, you know, they just want to chill and hang out and watch. They'll light off with something like, "Did he just say what I think I said?"
Yep.
Well, yeah, I was erasing because you get stuff that people say stuff while you don't have them muted.
Yeah,
You're like, what is that?
Yeah.
I think honestly that's the scariest part is like you guys have people in server that can go off the rails, and for me it's just you have the anger of everybody.
Yeah.
I know for me I've been struck on Twitch a few times for words that, because when you're streaming you're held responsible for everybody's actions. You're
whatever's on your channel. Yeah.
You're not controlling the other 20 to 30 racers with you.
Yeah,
right?
And I've been hit for words that have been said in a race because someone gets wrecked or because of that. And I know for you guys probably as well, you've had scenes where it's kind of like that gray area of RP and being able to show it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, thankfully Midwest is pretty good about enforcing those rules, and I think the community as a whole is pretty good about not violating those rules of the community, which thankfully coincide with Twitch's TOS.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I guess, Greg, my question to you is, how did you handle those situations with Twitch? Did you have to like talk to somebody about that, going like, look, there's not much I can do with this situation within its hands of like what you can disclose with stuff like that?
A lot of it was just deletion of VODs, deletion of videos. A few times I've been banned, like temp banned on Twitch. And it's kind of been reviewed because back before, I think it was like this past year, I didn't use a face cam. So you couldn't prove if it was you saying it, if it was someone else saying it most of the time.
Gotcha.
Because I would hide, I don't do it anymore, but I would hide where it says like the driver's name underneath my overlay. Just for kind of privacy purposes.
Not anymore.
Yeah, no, not anymore. After that, but it was literally emailing Twitch and being like, "Hey, like, you guys just banned my account. This is what happened. Like, is there a way to reverse it?" And that's always the hardest part. Is a lot of new streamers don't use Facecam.
Yeah,
you're just starting out. You're just trying to get your ground going and figure out what works for you. And
maybe scared as well.
And
I know I was for a while.
Talk about face cams, buying one right now. I mean, it's 2020 for anyone watching this in the future or listening to it. You know, we're
specifically early August 2020.
Yeah,
so,
we're still pretty full fledged, and we don't know how long it's going to go at this point. But you know, we're pretty full fledged into this pandemic. So we have, a C920. Anyone looked at one of those lately? What the price
I haven't. I know they're through the roof though.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at a 922 because I wanted to get a second camera for my stream, and I think it was 200.
Let's look it up right now. I'll look it up right now. Amazon on early August of 2020 on Amazon, a C922 Pro is currently going for $154.
Which isn't too, okay. That's not too bad. So
it's come down a little bit.
They have come down slightly.
Because what I want to do, and I know Brian, Josh, I know you with your sunglasses mode that's popped off in your chat. I'm not sure with you, Brian, because I'm usually at work when you stream. But I know for me, like especially racing, like Josh and you as well, Brian, helped me with my wheel cam, which is just using this main face cam in front of me and tilting it down. But I kind of want to have one or two that's like a pedal cam and a wheel cam on stream.
That'd be
fun to watch.
That'd be fun to watch. Yeah,
especially position that right. That'd build a little body out of the boxes. It's like your head and your feet.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
But going back to it though, with like using a face cam, you know, I think all of us at first when we started, we were scared.
Oh, certainly.
I don't know. For me, it was a little different. For me, using on the face cam, I've never really been afraid of like public image or public talking and stuff like that. So for me, it was like face cam. Yeah, as soon as I get one, I'll throw it up there. It didn't really freak me out so much. But I got an age gap on both you guys. So
yeah.
That just may be part of you also growing with the technology compared to us. I know growing up, I was raised, protect this, protects that. Careful about what you put out, even if it's your face or video, whatever. Be careful what you put out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm still that way. I'm still very specific what I like, what I repost, all that stuff. And even when I put out, I'm very conscious about.
I
as you should be.
Yeah, I've tried to become more conscious about it, just because, like, as I'm building my stream and my brand and, you know, my community, obviously I don't want to put something out that is, like, just, you know, wrong. Like, I mean, I have my Discord has, you know, a 18 plus channel, not safe for work, but I specifically put in the rules, like, guys, keep it,
there's certain things you can't do,
keep it somewhat reasonable, you know.
Yeah, there's other places you can go for stuff like that don't need to happen here in this Discord.
It doesn't need to be this community. That's not the kind of toxicity I want to promote.
And the thing with me, and I know Josh, maybe it was the same way for you, but I'm trying to transition here. But for me, like, the reason why I didn't use a face cam was growing up. The reason why I stream is an outlet. I wasn't the most popular kid in school. I still definitely am not the most popular, just because I'm opinionated, but I'm quiet about it. So once you get to know me,
what's your opinion until we get into a group like this?
Right, and then it's just out the window. But
opinions don't matter here.
Yeah,
honestly, it's
in a good way, not the bad way.
Right, no, 100%. It's, we can say whatever, and we're there for each other.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason for having a group like this. But for me, like, going through high school and everything, I went through a rough patch. I went through, and a lot of my friends did too, of, like, I don't know if it was our age group, Josh, but it was like just everybody, it seemed like had some sort of depression or some sort of something that brought them down at one point. Yeah,
for sure.
And for me, it was that outlet of, not only can I feel like I'm giving back, but I can de-stress myself.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I definitely have used this as an outlet. You know, I've dealt with depression. I've dealt with, you know, I guess you call them mental, not like mental disorders, but just mental problems. And this has just been kind of a place that I can chill, hang out, make new friends, meet people, you know, and that's
is that also kind of the big piece of growing up as well that I've kind of realized is you're going to go through these dips. I know for me, Greg, same thing. My sophomore year of high school specifically was probably one of my worst years in high school. Just everything went wrong, you know, every little thing. And I could pinpoint left, right. It's like, and then somebody down the road goes, well, that happened to me, but this also happened. And it's just like, yeah, I think high school's a rough time for a lot for
it's a big learning. I apologize. I'm going to, like, move my camera mid podcast here.
For me, it was 8th grade going into freshman year was my heavy downfall, and then just high school kind of just train wrecked. But it allowed me to start streaming at a really young age and kind of get my bearing about how to network at that time, which for me to even come out of my shell.
Too. I want to hear squeaky, Greg.
Yeah, so
where are those ones?
About that, no, there is.
I'm sure.
My YouTube channel actually still has stuff.
You still have some old stuff? That's awesome.
I
you know what I'm doing after this?
Nothing's viewable. I pulled that a while ago.
All right. So you went private with it.
Yeah. I still have it archived. Everything's still there.
That's good though.
Because memories, at least. That was my start. It was literally, and this isn't this upsets me, but my start of streaming on YouTube was a tablet on a music stand.
Yo, that's awesome though.
That's sick, dude.
That's awesome.
Plugged into it.
That's sick.
Yeah, I know a couple people that started that way. They were doing like their whatever, and they're filming their tablets. Yeah,
it's nothing major, but for me, pulling hundreds of views, because YouTube was a new thing back then. Getting a few hundred views when you were a kid was like,
that's incredible today.
Like the president, like,
yeah, it is though, with how much is out there.
And for me, like, that's why I keep doing it as much as, and I know Brian, you've seen it, Josh, you've seen it, you guys know me for years, where I just disappear. I stop. Something comes up and I just stop. But that is the reason why I keep coming back, is even though life hits me, or even something with networking, or someone in the streaming world says something to me, because that's a big thing, is all of us racers say stuff to each other that can affect each other, is I'll pull back completely, but I want to keep giving back. And that's my thing, is I started at a young age. I saw that people enjoyed it somewhat, or they made fun of me for it. Either or, you watch my content that I'm gonna keep putting out.
Yeah. Well, you kind of segued just
into one of our
into one of our questions here. I mean, you kind of led off, but like, what, Josh?
I would say, like, formally, the question is, what got you started with your streaming?
Yeah, what got you started? What got you into it? And I mean, you kind of answered it. For me, like, I discovered Justin TV before I had a computer. So for me, I was on my Sidekick LX, one of the first phones with data where you could actually watch things. The problem was it was so horribly optimized that I couldn't watch someone's full screen. I could like scroll around the screen.
Yep.
So like I'd be holding it and I'd be like, okay, what's he doing over here on this? So you could watch like a quarter of the screen at the same time. And that's so awesome. I would watch Justin TV, and that's how I learned about streaming. And I was like, dude, this is really cool. Maybe one day I'll be able to do it. And, Justin TV turned into Twitch, and I kind of vanished off of it. And I was like, whatever, at that point it was a pipe dream to, even start a stream, because I still didn't have a computer. And, I'm like, you know what? One of these days I'm just going to buy a computer, forget it. I got a job. I got some extra money. Let's try it. And I just kind of started and, kept playing games, kept meeting people, kept, running into old friends or new friends. And, it just kind of evolved.
It's not even French, just names or voices. There'd be times you meet somebody and you come back, 4 to 5 months later, and you're like, I know that voice. Where are you from? And then you connect the dots. You're like, holy shit, yeah, I met you there, and then now we're here. And
it was it was weird. Like
you went this way, I went that way, and then all of a sudden we're back again. And like,
it was really cool. Weird meeting Josh, because like at first you and I talked in just an RP community, and it was just like, and this was before Midwest, but we were just like, oh yeah, blah blah. I'm from California. Oh well, me too. We're specific. Well, I'm from this area. Oh, me too. Wait.
Well, before we get there, let's go back another 3 steps in the fact of I think I did your interview at DOJ. I trained you at DOJ, and then I gave you, I think, all 3 ride-alongs at DOJ.
I think
and
you
then
did.
We continued to ride along at DOJ.
Yeah, no, we built friends through the RP.
Together.
We built friends through the RP community, and that was fun on its own.
Yeah, and then ask around like this, that, and you're like, holy crap, at the time you were on the East Coast. I think
that's when I started. When we first met, I was in Maine. And I had, oh my god, my internet in Maine. I couldn't believe I could even RP, let alone stream. So for anyone that would even think the internet could be as bad as it was, I had 7 download and 0.7 upload. 0.7.
And
not
you still
even
have
a
better connection than some people in server.
I did, yeah.
By the way,
you what?
Do you right now? Oh, see, what? Proof. Internet doesn't make a difference. Well, it does, but like,
for me,
you can do it.
For me, which I will apologize to watching this monstrosity of a basement behind me. Right now, because of the whole pandemic, I moved back to my parents' house.
If you're viewing or listening on Spotify, we're illustrated for you. Top to bottom stuff. There you go.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Top to bottom, left to right.
Pandemic, I moved back to my parents' house. I couldn't afford anything.
Understandable. Totally
and for me, with my parents' house, the internet I think is 5 down and like 0.5 up.
Wow. 0.5 up?
Yeah, like I can't do jack.
But your quality's still good.
Yeah, no, your streams look good.
Hold on. So for me, I went out and bought my own internet for this house.
Oh, there it is. Okay,
streaming.
There
so
it
like
is.
This recording and whatnot, I'm on the internet. But if we were to just be talking like we normally do, I'm on the I can't do anything if I'm downloading. That's why you guys will see me drop calls if I'm downloading something.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That makes sense. But yeah, I mean, internet for the most part, as long as you have a base package, which most of them's usually decent, you can stream right off the bat. Yeah. You can upload to YouTube right off the bat. I'll kind of segue into myself. So, Brian, you said Justin TV was kind of your start. Greg, for you, was an outlet in high school. For me, I went through the YouTube thing when I moved to LA. So I graduated high school. I moved to LA. Actually, it was just before my kind of kicker was Jeff Favignano.
Oh, dude, I love watching Jeff. Jeff's amazing.
I found him at number 3 LSPDFR. Watched the first 2, and I had him on. I had that little bell on, and I watched him religiously over and over and over.
See,
and
for me, it was Barry Bugs.
Well, and then from there, because he started uploading those DOJ videos, I learned about Bugs, and then I watched Bugs, and I like caught up on like the 3 to 4 years of like content posting he did.
Yep.
And I mean, I just was so obsessed with LSPDFR. So for me, that was my start. Is I was like, I need a gaming computer, or I need a strong desktop to allow me to play LSPDFR. I had GTA, I had Steam because people were telling me to download it, and from there, when Jeff started doing live stuff, and I caught him and Bugs doing live stuff with DOJ, I was like, I want to do that or make these videos. So once I finally had that ability, I started recording on YouTube. So the Twitch thing didn't come until I moved to LA. Once I moved to LA, I learned what Twitch was, learning how to use Twitch for the first time. And for those of you that are watching and like want to do it, it's very confusing at first. YouTube's a great asset, though.
I think it's gotten easier, and like that's actually a
segue,
segue, kind of a later question, but
yes.
So yeah, but for the most part, my start was Jeff Favignano and those LSPDFR videos. I remember, I mean, he's in like the 400s or 500s now, but I remember watching number 23, number 24, and watching it go off, and watching alone his editing on those videos get better and better and better. And then when he went live, and Bugs, I think, started doing more live stuff, Polecat as well, it's like better. And it was inspiring. It's like, I want to be at that level. So it's like I started my own videos. I look at them now, and I would call them terrible, but I call them more of a learning. Like this is how you learn. Would I change things? Of course.
Yeah.
Is the content I was putting out then probably my best content? Yes. So that's how I got kind of my start on Twitch. And then my first real live stream was Lifeline RP. And I was doing an LEO stream, and I had my bit rate was too high, and I kept getting like lag. People were like, you're lagging, and I was holding like 10 viewers. It was like my first stream ever, and I think it was like everybody in the community that wasn't a server was watching. But I didn't care. I was having fun, and I think on YouTube right now it's still my top viewed video.
I think it is your top. It is definitely your top one.
And I still get people messaging me of like, hey, is this community still around? I'm like, no, that sadly died about a year and a half ago. But that's also where a lot of our relationships, I think, got tighter. Greg, I don't remember if you were there. I think you were, right?
I came over not with the first batch. I came over as myself, like without knowing really anybody, just because I wanted to get away from some of the communities I was in. And then I knew all of you guys. Like I knew all of you guys. That was when we first started talking. Was when we went over to LRP and IRP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and if there's anything I miss about that, I love Midwest where we are and everything, and the friendships I have right now. That was a friendship community. That was not like we're talking people that we're here together having.
Well, but we were like a size of, I think we peaked at 100 people, 100 members, and we could maybe get 30 members active at night, per night, and that was like the best night.
And that was usually the people that came around all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody else that was still there, and as upset as I was when the downfall happened with it, it still was the best time because I definitely lost a lot of those bonds that we built there.
I still talk to, I think, almost everybody from our core group that we had of like 20 people over there.
Yeah, I still talk to a few of them. I definitely had a bit of a falling out with some of the group at one point, but
we all kind of went our own ways.
We all did go our own ways. We had a bit of falling out, and people kind of grow apart as life happens. But it wasn't. I'm sure if I messaged him and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" We could probably get a hit off. Like nothing had happened. So
it's also proof that you can have these crazy friendships just off gaming, because I know there's still kind of a stipulation out there, especially with like my parents and like the older generation. They're like, you can't make friends off gaming. It's like,
oh god, no, yeah.
So many people. I trust more on a platform than I do in person.
Right. Well, for me, even being able to chase streaming was talking to my parents and trying to get them to understand that it's nowadays another another job.
I have that problem with my dad right now. I'm like, yeah, Dad, I had like 25 people watching me the other day. He's like, I don't get that. What do you mean 25 people? I was like, he's like, and they pay you sometimes? I was like, yeah, they do. And he goes, really?
Yeah. No, and the thing is, like, the older generation doesn't get it. And like, I think I'm probably on the older side of streamers and the generation that understands it, other than people that the generation before me that have, you know, looked at it and like, well, that's interesting, and I'll give it a try.
They know gaming, but they don't understand the social entertainment aspect of it. I tried making the same example because my dad was like, why did they pay for, you know, I was talking like example would be like, oh yeah, Dr. Specs makes like, you know, approximately this much a stream. And he goes, how does he make that much? And I was like,
people throw money at him.
Goes, but that doesn't make sense. I was like, but you pay to go to a stadium to watch a band, and they go to around the U.S. to make that money. And he goes, well, yeah, that's different. I was like, is it? And he's like, well,
it's still a live performance. It's a live performance.
I'm not going to bore you, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a live performance. It's just not like live in person. It's live on a screen.
It's different. So it's totally different.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Die, but
that's for sure.
So, but yeah, that's pretty funny. But I think my biggest thing was there's so many friends that I definitely will not be letting go probably ever.
No. And like, I got married during quarantine.
But we'll see. I don't know.
Okay. I got married during quarantine, but like, you know, once this is over and I have a wedding, you know, we're probably going to be like, hey, fly you in, because all your friends are all over the country.
I've already joked, the 300 people that made my wedding, probably 110 of them will be all gaming buddies.
Same joke to my parents about it. I'm like, yeah, if I ever find somebody that's happening.
I'd say, and guess what? I've probably only met 10 of them.
Yeah.
The rest of them I've only talked to on, you know, this platform. Some of them won't even FaceTime, listen to me, you know, do Discord video calls. Yeah, things like that. And it's like, well, hey, first time you meet, I guess it's going to be at a big event.
Josh, just because you kind of started touching on a little bit, but when you did first start streaming, what was like? Did you have any like goals in mind, or what were you expecting, or? And then has it changed kind of then to now? I mean, because obviously,
I still reference like my start of streaming was more my YouTube-ish era. I remember I was doing editing every day, and then so. For me, streaming, I did go through that hype of wanting to be like a big streamer. My goals, I think, at least for me, I wanted to be a big streamer. I wanted to be known. I want people to be like, oh my God, that's PayBackBills, whatever, right? For me, though, it's changed to where I just want to provide entertainment where I can make somebody laugh, even if it's one person. If I can make one person even smile on my stream and they go, oh my God, that made me laugh, my day is complete. You know what? And I've had people say like, oh, what about money here, money there? I'm like, you know what? I have no issues working. You know, I have my career path I'm still going to follow. I'm very appreciative of the subs and the bits and all that stuff. But for me, if I can get you to laugh, smile, even change an emotion where it goes positively, my job is done. I am happy. If you come back because of that same thing, that's what I'm here for. Mm-hmm. That is my current goal now. So yes, from the beginning where I wanted to be big dog making all the money, yeah, it's totally changed. I am here purely for the entertainment of making you laugh, making you think. There's education stuff I try to put sometimes in stream. I will probably blow your mind sometimes with some of the stuff I say, and I blow my own mind because I'm like, what am I saying? Let me Google this real quick. And it's like I tell people, if there's something that comes up on stream where like it's, for example, medication, because we're running an EMS call and I don't know, I will bring it up. I will learn while I'm teaching you, or trying to teach you while I'm trying to learn, and that's what I'm all about. Yeah. You know.
What about you, Greg?
It's definitely changed. I mean, like I said, I started streaming, recording when I was 13, I think.
Yeah, you had an interesting
That's probably changed 12, 13, 14 times.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
Channel went through puberty with you.
I went through so many name changes because I was like that angsty kid of just, this name doesn't work, or changing like what I do. And that's kind of the whole reason too, is I change what I do. I used to quite a bit. I've kind of found a home in racing. I've kind of found something I can outlet in. But for me, at first, it was kind of like you, Josh, of I want to ride that high horse. I want to become as big as I can. And after going to different conventions and kind of just meeting people, especially like you guys, you realize that it's the community that you build and the outlet you give others to provide entertainment, to change up their day, or to have them be able to come to you and as an outside source to change things. And that's what I'm about now is, yeah, cool, Josh, I'm kind of like you of, okay, awesome, you gave me bits. If I get big enough, yeah, I would quit my job to do it, but I'm here to provide content when I can and to make that community that people can be around for a while and know that they have a home, per se.
Yeah, and it's not just shrugging off the bits. Like, it's, thank you. I'm glad I create that appreciation and that happiness for you. But that's not why I'm here. So yeah, I feel you there. Totally. And I feel like Bryan, I can see your face.
I mean,
right down that same alley.
Yeah, right? I was not a popular kid in school, so I wanted the popularity, watching, God, I can't even think of the names from Justin TV, but, just seeing people in Twitch now and like, hey, I remember that voice. Was that so-and-so, and like, they're so popular. They stream for 20, 30,000 people, whoever they are. And so it's like, God, I want it. I want that. That's what I want to do. And exactly. I think you mature with your content and you start to think about like, what do I really want? It's like, like what you said, Josh, where it's like, if I can make you smile and laugh and have, just have a better day because you came in and hung out for a little bit, I'm set. I'm good.
Totally.
I definitely want, like the idea of building a community that's gonna, be positive and hang out and have fun and joke. And, we can jump in on a random day and just, hey, who wants to play Division 2 or who wants to play, Satisfactory?
Yeah, who wants to play Division 2?
Yeah, who wants to play that? No one ever wants to play it. Every time I post up in my Discord, who wants to play Division 2? I just crickets.
Did someone say Siege? I'm sorry, what?
How do you, yeah, exactly. How do you shut down an entire Discord? You just mentioned Division 2.
No, not even just Division 2. You don't want to raid?
Yeah, no. But I mean, so for me, that was, oh my God, now I'm getting text messages. So it's one of those things that like
Is that Division 2 calling? Sorry, I gotta ask.
That was Division 2 calling. I declined.
The first for you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm always the one that's pestering everyone to go play. But yeah, no. So it's like just building a fun, positive community where you can like hang out and just make more friends, and it's like even if I'm not tight with every single person that's in the community, if one friend comes over and then they like invite their friend, so then those two are playing, but then they meet someone else, and it kind of builds on networking and friendships and just everything that goes along with it. I know all three of us try and keep our chats positive. We try and keep everything going. You get a troll in once in a while and they're just like F this, F that, dude. Happen. And you're just like, you don't even hesitate. You just go over with the mouse, ban. It's like, see you later. You're not even gonna
just tab out. Oh, see you.
So I mean, or a mod. You just see in your chat, it's like moderator banned. And it's like, oh, cool, thanks guys.
I think with Twitch and any content creation at all, you're gonna have that. I mean,
yeah, and
Instagram, Facebook, athletes, Twitter. I mean, everywhere.
And the bigger you get, the more there is. The more, definitely. So it's one of those things.
I had another question I was going to add in that I totally spaced on that we didn't have yet. It's going to come back to me, and I'll throw it in when we do. I've totally spaced on it because we had a tangent a little bit. But
honestly, because Bryan started with this a bit, and Josh, you started the nagging on it. But what is everyone's favorite game currently?
Favorite game currently? Crickets. I mean, that
rotates. I mean, you can't peg. I mean, we'll watch this in a month, and what I probably say now, I'm gonna go, why did I say that? Because I can tell you, a year ago, 2 years ago, it was PUBG, and then it rotated into Rainbow Six Siege, and then it rotated into Division 1, and then I was like, holy crap, Division 2 is coming out, so I played Division 2, and then
I mean,
it just rotates. Right now, currently, as of early August 2020, GTA 5M is what I probably have to label. while I'm starting to tangent back into Rainbow Six Siege. I used to play that very heavily, and I got pretty decent at it, but I'm, those two is probably what I'd label right now. If you asked me a month ago, I'd tell you Division 2.
And so that's the thing. It's like, for me, if you asking that question is like, what's your favorite game to play? And it's like, what's your favorite game to play solo? And then what's your favorite game to play with friends? And like with a group of friends, Division 2 for me is a blast. But if I get in and try and solo grind that right now, I just want to pound my head into a wall. It's just getting to a point where, you're like, I'm currently at a point in that game where, I have to find the most elite of elite guns, and or armor, and it's like, it's a grind. It is a grind. But I don't mind grinders. I played Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3 a little bit. And dude, they're just looter shooters. The more you kill, the more you find, the more you throw away, the lucky chance you get of something else. The RN gods, whatever you want to call it. But favorite game solo, I'd have to say probably 5M as well. 5M, I can get in, and it's funny because you can't really say it's solo because it's a multiplayer thing. But like, for me to just go into my stream or go into the game by myself, not in a voice call, not in something else, 5M is definitely a nice escape and a nice fun place to hang out.
What about you, Greg?
For me, I would say, and I'm kind of with Bryan on this, it's a multiplayer game technically, but you can do it solely, is iRacing. That's my outlet, is just be able to drive a car around, even if it's in the solo test session of just screw it. I'm going to just drive a car into a wall or something to take out anger or actually try. Depends on what mood I'm in. Multiplayer, currently I'd have to say Fall Guys because it just lets me laugh.
So much fun right now too.
It's definitely working its way in because it's just so random.
Is it one of the most popular games? Yeah, and is it kind of a bandwagon game?
It's definitely a bandwagon. I'm wondering how long it's gonna, like, in 6 months from now. Where's it gonna be?
I was saying, speaking of that, I just had 3 friends that hopped on that today, and I was like, oh my god, they bought it.
Yeah,
which is awesome because everybody's
content creators earlier before we did this, because I know you guys were doing other stuff, and none of us bought it on PC besides myself, and they all switched from PS4 to PC to play it together. And it was like, awesome. Oh my god, because we're at the point of we have enough people, and I think even our group has enough people that if they make private matches a thing, we're all screwed.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. I wish they got to figure out this server stability a little bit, but once they do that, that's super true. So, going off of that, we're gonna go the inverse. What's a game you haven't played in forever that you want to get back into?
I'd have to go to
but I guess let me put a little asterisk on this. Of you think about getting back into it, you sit down and then you go click into something else, or you go, oh, it's not downloaded, so you go somewhere else, so you don't even think about it. It's something that you go, man, I should play that.
I don't.
You guys seem stumped.
I am a little stumped. Greg, do you have any idea?
Yeah. So for me, and Josh, I know hates me for this. For me, Siege. I can't get back into it with how toxic it's become. With
that's a freaking thing we could talk about a whole nother.
That's an entire podcast 100%. On its own.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And but for me, Siege and Rocket League, I can't pick up those games anymore. I used to grind them before I streamed and when I took a break, and those were the games I played. I think I was at the point if I played them too much. No, I
knew we did at the end of your Siege, I can't say career, but your play time, we played together, and I remember we had a good time. But yeah, it's toxic at that point. We won't go too far into that. But
right,
that's one is.
Definitely another time.
Yeah. Bryan?
Game I want to get back into.
Or just something that kind of crosses your mind.
That's the thing is, like, I have this massive game library on Steam, and there's so many games that, like,
don't we all?
Well, no. So like, I have Steam, I have Epic, and I have Uplay, right? And so like. Rainbow Six Siege is fun. I don't really get into it to like your extent, Josh, but like I find it fun when there's a group of 5 of us to go in with a full team at least, And I have the game chat off. Like it kills me to even read that stuff, for the toxicity of it. So I don't actually get the exposure of the toxic manner of it. I know Satisfactory.
There's days where I laugh at it. There's other days where it's like,
and that's the thing.
I'll throw my monitor across the room.
I'll jump in and I'll see you. I'll see you like playing, and I'll like jump in your voice chat or something, or the group chat, and you guys are just screaming and cussing at the walls. And
okay,
it's like, okay, I'm leaving this one. I don't even want to be around here. And then there's other days that you guys are laughing and it's like, hey, you got room for one more, so it definitely depends on the vibe of the room and the group.
Payback is about 3 drinks deep.
in other news,
that's not another, yeah, right. So I heard Satisfactory.
Yeah, so Satisfactory was fun. I'm looking forward, hoping that the game devs can do something to update 4. I think they're going to be up to. I'm really looking forward to that. So it's kind of been a sideline game because we've played through it. This group plus one. We played 3 or 4 times, and we've gotten to the final bit. We never did nuclear power. We never did this and that. There's so many things you can do with that game. It's got a lot of kind of sandbox-ish usability to it, where we could go nuts, either make a new world and go nuts or whatever. So that would be kind of fun to get back into. A game that I bought that I had friends when I bought it. I was living in Maine. I bought Monster Hunter World, and I've been like dying to play that game. And I went in and watched streams. I did this and I did that, and I'm like, oh, this would be so fun. And I bought it mostly to play with friends. I don't enjoy the game solo. I'm not good at it. So it's a game that, if I had a group of friends, I'd be down to go try Monster Hunter World again. And I think I did like the first 3 levels and just shelved it. So that's probably the one game that's like I'd like to get back into, but I would need a group to do it.
I got you. I'll tell you what mine is, and it's because I do not want to put the time into it anymore, is LSPDFR. I physically can't, like, the hours you spend fixing. Let's start with setting up. The hours or days you spend setting up. You get in and you're loading. It's got that 2% to go, and it's like game config. It's like, fuck. Like, all right. So you get the game config update, and you load it in. You get in, go to spawn the vehicle model. Your game crashes, and you're like, dude. Oh, I forgot to put the handling line in. God, man, again, like, I remember, dude, I would do like 4 days of just trying to put this freaking game together, play it for 20 minutes, and it would crash.
Yeah,
but the 20 minutes you got were amazing.
Yeah, that's a game. I did it once. It crashed, and I never bothered going back to fix it.
I was so adamant about it. Add-ons, and then if one thing goes out of date, you're screwed. It's over.
Yeah, and you don't know what it is for a while.
Yeah. No, you're like, okay, shelve that.
Yeah. And so what I kind of rotated that into was modding my single player. So I created 2 files, 5M, which was the vanilla, and then your single player. And the vehicles I got, I didn't necessarily mod so much. I just throw vehicles in, and I do that. But that's the one that I would love to get back into if I didn't have to spend the 10 hours putting it together and testing and crashing and testing and crashing and walking away and coming back. And
yeah.
Because I know that's just how it is, though, to get it right. So it's like those guys like that still produce those LSPDFR videos. Mad respect.
Oh, totally.
Because it's hard.
Well, but there's 5 PD
that's
now.
Unstable, and I think was it like Ace Pilot. I forget his full YouTube tag, but he does stuff still. I know Jeff does, but those are like the 2 off the top of my head that I've seen that still do LSPDFR. I'm just like, mad respect.
Does Jeff do LSPDFR, or does he do 5PD now?
He still does.
Still does LSPDFR.
I don't know recently, but he posted a video within the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
An LSPDFR video. He is doing the 5PD thing, which I think everybody's kind of more rotating to, which was another tangent I had of a lot of games these days I feel like are designed multiplayer. They're not designed single player anymore.
Yep. No, there's like almost no games that are like designed single player. And like, we could have an entire podcast.
Or the original, whatever that were good.
Original Nintendo 64 games that were either side by side or single player.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's my little. I'd love to play it. I'm not putting the time into it. I can't.
Well, with your two questions, is there like another game category that you'd like to try and stream? I mean, talking about old games and games that, like, is there another category that you'd be interested in trying? That
I played, for me at least, I played a little bit of RTS. I did a little bit of real-time strategy stuff.
Those are fun. Those are hard, though.
I was playing Steel Division Normandy 44. Was the main one I played. I played, I think, about 10 hours of it. But for me, is I didn't get past the learning curve and I dropped it. And part of the reason I picked it up is I was like, oh, World War II. And I'm a World War II fanatic. I love talking about it, going over stuff like that. But I think RTSs, especially in a multiplayer aspect, would be really fun. That's for me.
Going off of that, and I know we talked about it at first, it's learning the game and getting a computer that can fully optimize it.
Yeah.
But Hell Let Loose 100% is
that's a fun game.
Those lines still.
That's a fun game. We gotta get you into that one.
That's something I would like to do a lot more, even if it's just off camera or recording it, is Hell Let Loose and being able to kind of show you guys, especially like, because Josh, you used to do RTS. I know a lot of the stuff we do, even if it's just RP, that's honestly RTS. But being able to do that militaristic, that mil sim sort of style of gaming.
So we had our old group, the one that went from Lifeline and Infamous, kind of backtracking and bringing it into current. I know a lot of them went into mil sim. A lot of them went to.
We did the squad thing. Remember, that was the whole reason I bought squad and only played 3 hours of it.
No, but like the group that we kind of disbanded from. I know part of them went off and they went and did mil sims. They're doing Arma communities and stuff like that. Yep. So that sounds intriguing, and I know we have some people in our current group that we're regularly hanging out with that do Arma mil sims, and it sounds interesting. I think compared to GTA RP versus Arma RP, it's like they don't have some of the things like, as we call them in GTA, locals, you know.
Yeah, in Arma, there's no locals, and it's a lot more time consuming.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I mean, there's definitely gonna be a learning curve there too.
Curious what the viewers or the people that follow our channels and stuff would think as well. If they saw more of that. I know Hell Let Loose it's fascinating because it's so different.
The one problem I have with streaming Hell Let Loose, and like I like playing the game, it's fun, but when you stream it, is stream snipers. Like I don't know.
There's a lot in that. I'm sure Arma and Squad and all those guys have it too.
All of them.
I think any of the FPS games, you do have a lot of stream sniping, which is it just gets annoying and old.
There's a reason. That's part of the reason I don't stream Siege at all anymore. At least, especially when I was going through my period with it, I just stopped. They kept getting people in the chat going, "Hey man, thanks for the heads up during that game." It's like, can't even have a.
For us, we're so community based, we're so chat related that having a stream delay kills us.
Yeah, no, and that's you go into stream and someone says, "Oh, that was sick," and you're like, "Wait, what was sick?" And they're like, "That thing that just happened." You're like, "Well, that's 5 minutes ago." So for me, it's a disconnect, and I don't like the disconnect between chat
almost
and stream.
Have to turn chat off on your screen because can't.
See, I can't because like I have two monitors. Like I have over here, which once again is reaching towards Josh, but it's not. It's reaching. There we go. So, but like over here, I have my second monitor and it's vertical, and so I have chat over here. I have Discord. I have everything set up, and I have it perfectly set so chat is right next to my game, so I can look over at chat and be like, okay, well, who says what, and I can kind of keep up with chat. If I were to disconnect and shut that off, dude, I would not know what to do. I'd be broken.
Right.
Like, I love talking with chat.
That's the reason why I have Alan, who's my crew chief and spotter, connect with chat so much, because sitting there and I think you guys have seen it, when I race solely versus having him in my ear, there's different feels. Mm-hmm. Like it's the same exact game, same exact thing, but you lose that because even for me, obviously Josh, you said it under green, I can't focus on chat.
Especially if it's a bigger race too, that's really gonna affect your rank.
There's times where it'll go 80 laps, and I'll be like 20 minutes later looking at chat going, what did you say that about?
Yeah, no, there's a huge disconnect sometimes when you're doing iRacing, which it's. I think the people that watch iRacing, they definitely understand that, like, okay, you're racing, like you can't look over at chat. And I mean, I know that I've seen iRacing where people like have a camera back here that shows their stream and shows everything. And, you know, you see like there's a monitor here, there's a monitor here, there's a monitor, like, you know, they have crazy setups for I wish. I need a second video card to run all the monitors they run.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's crazy just to see the setups that some of these people do to stay engaged with chat. And, you know, for me, it's like, I work, this is my hobby. I would love it not to be, but it is. So
well, some of those guys, first one comes to mind is Chuck Dix. He's that Hell Let Loose streamer, very big Hell Let Loose streamer. And he does that too, where his whole room's a green screen and everything. And part of his setup is an editing room. So those 5 monitors relate to his editing as well. And, you know, that plays in a very big factor. Because I can tell you from my editing experience from when I worked in the film industry is like, if you had 1 monitor, it sucks. You had 2 monitors, that's great. If you had 3 or 4, it's fantastic. Because you can have your video dump over here, you can have your editing streamline over here, you can have your main clip here, and you can, you know, whatever it is that you're editing. And it's fantastic because you have all this room. And you relay that into streaming. The more monitors, the better, because there's more to have. Once you get comfortable with the way you have everything set up, that's why I'm missing my 3rd monitor right now, and it's like on streaming, it's hard because I can't make chat as big, I can't, you know, make the events as big, and you got to scroll and this and that.
I know that feeling. I only have 2 monitors, and I'm like, I'm out of desk space right now, and you know, kind of like Greg, I had to move back in with family because of cost of living, cost of, you know, and just life. And so I'm like, you know, this room, people that are watching can see it, but, you know, it's like a spare bedroom, computer room, you know, that I just kind of stuff my stream in the corner and I just kind of do my thing. And so, you know, hopefully one day I can get my own place. And thankfully my wife's amazing. She's told me that she's like, you can have a room as long as we have the space. I'm like, okay. So
that's what my lady said. She's like, yeah, after seeing you do your streaming and stuff, I kind of want to walk around our apartment, so we'll make sure we get a second room when we move.
Yeah.
Or in our case, down the road, whatever happens, of like making sure there is a dedicated office or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, it's nice that you can close a door. Like being able to close the door is nice. It sucks because like I got AC and there's a window back behind my monitor, but it still gets hot. So like when I do get a dedicated stream room, I need to like have a AC vent that blows in nonstop or something.
Dedicated AC to the room itself. Just like a recording studio.
Yeah, right.
It'd be perfect.
Yep.
Well, I guess we've kind of killed that subject.
I beat it like a dead horse, man. Oh my God.
What kind of have you guys done for exposure? Have you guys, you know, like social media or like anything on YouTube, or have you done anything that's helped, or have you noticed anything that's helped or heard of anything? I mean,
well, Greg's got the longest story, so you can go ahead and start.
Oh God. All right. Well,
the longest story.
I mean,
I sound like, I guess, a prostitute. I've been around. I was trying to find a way to put it nicely, but I can't.
Saying you work,
there's no PC way of doing it.
Is that what you're saying right now?
If it works, it works, right? But,
oh God, Greg.
No, I mean, I've been to different gatherings. I won't say conventions. I really haven't gone to like a TwitchCon yet or anything big.
For another year or so, probably. Either sucks.
Which sucks.
At
but
minimum.
I've been to gatherings where you get a few thousand people, but it's the same clique. And a lot of it's just networking. I know for me, social media hasn't really been a big exposure. It's been kind of, I put stuff out there, but the people that know me are the ones interacting or sharing it, and it hasn't gained me anything. But when I go out in public, if I'm wearing my merch line, or if I'm wearing someone else's, or I'm handing out business cards or something, that's how I've seemed to gain what I've gained, is co-streaming or which don't, whatever you do, I have people that do this to me, and I came off as someone the wrong way. Like, it seemed like this is what I was trying to do. But don't go up to a person, whether it's in social media or in person, and know that they're a streamer, and basically sound like the only time you want to play games with them is through streaming. And I've fallen victim to this. I've also done this by accident. I've come off as that person of like, hey, I have a stream time here because I work. Do you want to play games at that time? But that's not the right wording for it.
Yeah.
And that's definitely hurt me as well. I know I did this recently. I won't name the person. That's not who we are. We don't obviously name people unless they want to be named. But I think it was like a few days ago, I popped into this person's DMs and was like, hey, like, I want to play with you. What about doing this? And then after I sent that, I was like, that's a mistake. You come off as, even if, like, for me, this person is a bigger content creator. So now it seems like I'm using them to gain popularity versus I just want to network with you, see if we click. If we do, hey, let's game off stream. Let's maybe do a co-stream sometime. Like, that's kind of how the three of us met, was none of us were really doing content creation, or at least content creation of what we were gaming with. And we all figured out, hey, it kind of works.
Uh-oh, BiCoastal Kid has made an appearance.
There he is. But, you know, it kind of... It works that way of, if you network and you network correctly, you can go places.
Yeah. No, definitely. And for me, I follow the biggest names in the industry, and who they, what they recommend and what they say and this and that, and they're like, oh, make discoverable content, and anyone listening to this and is doing the same thing definitely knows exactly who I'm talking about. But make discoverable content, and you'll be found, and you'll get a natural growth. And so that's kind of the route that I've been trying to follow. It's just trying to make something that can be found so that people can find me, because we can have an awesome community, but if no one knows it exists, then how are they going to find you or come and hang out to learn about it? So I started making a couple YouTube videos. I'm working with a friend who found me, and he's like, hey, I like editing. What do you like doing? I'm like, well, I like streaming. And so we're kind of been working together and building our brands together, to turn it into something bigger, hopefully, where we can have a good, fun community, and that's, however many people large, and, just have a good time with it.
Yeah, totally. I know for me, for my exposure, it's more just talking to people, I think. Because I knew a couple people that tried, or I don't know, so yeah, tried streaming or tried doing YouTube. And what they really did is they started shoving their content down people's throats. Hey, check this out, watch this. Hey, check this out, watch this. And that's kind of like where I was like, what I am posting and what I'm going to put out is going to be what I enjoy and what I know I would want to watch. So for me, at least my exposure for the most part, I have a Twitter, I have, my Discord and YouTube and Twitch and all that. The growth for me just comes from what I put on YouTube, and just talking to people. I think is my big piece. Getting to know people, and then from there, it's like, hey, what do you do, this, that? It's like, oh yeah, no, I stream there and there. Oh really? Hey, yeah, check out my channel. And then from there, like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they end up showing their friend or whatever. And it just kind of, spreads out like that. And, there's all sorts of ways to put yourself out there and get exposed. And I'm not saying my way is perfect. I'm not saying that,
I don't think there's any perfect. I mean,
no, it's not.
It's whatever works for you and how you project yourself, I feel like, is probably that biggest.
How you project yourself, how your community runs, and just what you can do. I mean, people that are watching this, I'm sitting here holding my 5-year-old who decided to wake up. But we're we're all really busy with life, and so getting together as a group was like, okay, well, you have work, you have this, you have that, and so it's like, all right, well, we're recording this after his bedtime, so it's you find time to do what you. Oh, yeah, but you have to
live on the other side of the country.
You have to find time to do things, and how do you get your exposure? Well, you make time to do things to get yourself out there, whether it's any one of the different things that we've said we're all trying. And if someone else grabs traction, I'll totally switch gears and try something else, and see where it goes.
I think that's another big piece, at least newer content creators, and I'm still new. Heck, I mean,
yeah, in
you need to adapt and change to what's not working. Now, you may not know exactly what that is. I know for me, simply, it was like, how can I get myself to be more or create more entertainment within a stream itself? And I, like you guys had talked about earlier, but I came up with the sunglass mode thing. I don't know where that came up from. I think it was a late night talk, Brian, you and I had or something. Yeah, it was something we had talked about. But you know what? Throw that in, and you have that thing.
That's been a hit on your channel too.
Yeah, and like with your soundboard, I know that as you integrate more stuff in your stream with that, that's like your thing. Yeah. Greg has G Fuels, and we're just gonna leave that there.
Yeah, but Greg got me hooked on G Fuels, so it's his fault now.
I know, right? We're gonna die of a caffeine overdose. Thanks to Greg.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I hate you.
I hate you.
Yeah, right. Oh, that was pretty good.
I'm trying not to laugh to wake him up. He's dead asleep.
For those you don't understand, you'll definitely find out down the road in the podcast. Brian has both those, myself and Greg, recorded.
Let's see if we can demo these real quick. There it is.
There we go.
And that gets played pretty commonly. So.
Oh, it does in your streams too. Oh, it's just.
What
these little things that you build and you bond over, and it's just these dumb little things, but they're awesome.
It wasn't really a planned question, but just since we are kind of talking about setups, like what kind of audio setup are you guys running?
Thanks, Brian. I have Brian's G-Track Pro that I've been running, and then I have a HyperX Cloud 2.0s, something like that. I'm running for my headset, all wired up. That's what I'm running right now for my setup.
I have an AT2020 that was sent to me by another racer, just because it's a little bit more studio mic versus this lovely floppy
the boom mic
thing.
A headset.
Yeah, which I used for, actually, I've had these since these came out. These are the HyperX Stingers. I've had these for years, and they still work. There's audio issues. There always is with wired stuff. I know Brian's over there was probably the most expensive setup, but
I've definitely invested the most into my setup.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Rightfully so. I think I'm going to here soon, but I mean, I'm rocking my AT20 and my HyperXs. So
once pandemic prices drop, because I got to go XLR, and it was $400. It went up to $500, and that's when I bought mine. And
then it skyrocketed.
Exactly. And then like less than a month later, pandemic started, because I got the Go XLR, I think February, maybe January.
Yep.
And
early
March it started.
Early February. Yeah. Early February.
And so March it started, and like at first the Go XLR price didn't skyrocket that hard, and so I was watching them because I wanted to get a Go XLR Mini also. Because I mean, hell, I've already put 500. Why? What's another 250? Christ. But and then I looked at just this month or last month. Well, we're early August, so it was last month. I looked at the Go XLR, and I found one $1,500 on Amazon.
Yep.
I'm like, that's
it's still at that. It's still at like 1,000.
They're still floating around 1,000. Yeah. So I mean,
oh my God.
Right now it's just ridiculous to upgrade. But I did that. I got the XLR mic. I used a Rode Procaster XLR mic on a boom shock mount. And then I got peripheral. I got the Stream Deck, and I loved that thing. That's been an awesome addition.
And I know I got mine because of your hounding, and I will say that because you're like, you get one.
Yeah,
when I could do it, I kept tabbing out to switch scenes to mute audio. As soon as I bought my Stream Deck,
I tell everyone, like, if you're going to stream, it's borderline
it's a game
required.
changer.
It's needed.
It's needed
100%.
to have, but you don't even need the Stream Deck. You can just get one of the $50.
You get a button box.
Huh?
Like a button box.
Yeah, you can get a button box, and it would be just the same. It'd be fine. The Stream Deck's nice because it has a whole bunch of integrations. And I have a key light coming. I found one for MSRP on a website. It's no longer in stock. The shipping was 2 months, so I should expect it sometime in September.
I got mine from Elgato when they restocked like a week ago.
I'm thinking about getting up the key light Air as like a second light. But honestly, like I got the key light coming. I don't know when it's coming, but to be able to find a key light for MSRP in pandemic was magical enough. And I ordered that in June, I think.
Okay.
So it'll be here when it's here. Right now I have, anyone's looking, it's is what it is. And there's not much you can do about it.
Yep. Work with what you got.
Exactly. That's all you can do.
Yeah, totally.
So
I mean, heck, if you've seen my channel, my setups have switched like 4 or 5 times just from my moves.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of. It's the whole idea is just to work with what you got and make the best of what you have. And I feel like some people, like I know Greg, you've kind of was like, dude, my background. I'm like, dude, honestly, it is what it is. Like, there's not much you can do about it. You could buy a green screen and put it up behind you if you really wanted, but honestly,
it changes the dynamic of your channel as well.
It changes, yeah. But I think I'm gonna have to call the podcast here because I need to get this one back to bed.
I say. I know that there's gonna be a lot more topics down the road that are gonna be a lot more focused, and I know for me, at least in my Discord, I'll be posting probably a channel for suggestions. Yeah. Once this episode goes live, I know a lot longer than we expected.
Josh, just plug everything: your Twitch, your YouTube, plug it all, and at least so people know where to find you that hear this. Yeah.
No, my Twitch, twitch.tv. What is this? Twitch.tv/PaybackBills. That's my Twitch, and you can look everything else up on YouTube as well. PaybackBills on YouTube, and Twitter, same thing. So I'm over there. Twitter's more for just general updates, and you can find the Discord on my Twitch channel. Go to the description; it's right there.
It'll be in, I think, pretty much all of us. I know my
the YouTube descriptions for sure. So,
and anyone finds it on Spotify or you play Google Music or whatever we put it onto, we'll have all the info in that. But
yeah, and I know for all of us, our descriptions will have everything. Yeah, that will even have each other's stuff. So no matter who you're on or where you find this, all of ours are going to be linked somewhere or blasted somewhere. So,
yeah. Greg, go ahead and plug your channels while you're at it. And...
Oh, I'm not used to that. I usually try to hide when people say that, but
no.
It's Demintele on Twitch. It's a nice non-American name, so have fun spelling it. Hopefully you can zoom in on the screen, but it's Demintele. I do Twitch. I don't really do YouTube. This will be like the first thing on YouTube in a while. That's about it. If you like racing, check me out. If you like RP, check these two out.
And I have a wife calling and a kid asleep on my shoulder. Busy life. So I'm BiCoastalGaming.
First always.
Yeah. BiCoastalGaming on Twitch, BiCoastalGaming on YouTube, BiCoastalGaming on Twitter. And I'm not sure how we're going to title this on Spotify and everything else. It might just
the intro is probably what I would go with.
Oh, the intro.
Because we covered 27 topics in about an hour.
The Muskastreamers. I've had a lot of fun. I think we should do these more though. So
this needs that for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have all the links in all the descriptions. So wherever you find this, if you want to check out any of the channels or anyone's Discord, we'll put Discord links. Join communities and hang out and have fun. We all kind of have various different hours, various different schedules. My schedule currently on Twitch at the time of the recording is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mondays are kind of a hit or miss. and that's 10 a.m. Pacific time till whenever I run out of time or I have something that pops up. So
mine's varying right now, so I don't have a fully set schedule due to work and Fire Academy coming up.
Mine is racing Sundays, Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's subject to change if I'm able to make it due to what I do IRL, but at least you know that I try to race.
For now, people know where to find it.
All right. Exactly.
Well, thank you all for listening, and hopefully we can catch you in the next one.
Catch you in the next one.
Yeah, fair.
That was fun.